Hello, we are going to continue on in Unit 8 and actually look at Law of Cosines in this video. But before we do that, there is a warm-up here. Using law signs, go ahead and do this. Notice it is a side-side angle case, so you do need to check your height. So hit pause, try it, see where you're at, and then we'll go through it. Or you can check your answers at least. Okay, so when you're looking at this and checking your cases, if A is greater than or equal to C, which it is in this triangle, we know that there's just one triangle, so you can go ahead and do law of sines to find your missing angles and your missing side. So go ahead and check your answers there. If you need any work, really quick setup, I just did sine of C over 20 equals sine of 38 degrees over 22. To find that angle C was 34 degrees. And then I kind of went from there, subtracted from 180, and then used law of sine again. Okay, today we are going to actually go on and talk about how to solve general triangles using law of cosines. So this works really well when you have side by side because law of sines requires you to have at least one angle to be able to do that. So here's our law of cosines. You have three options for formulas, depending on what you're trying to find. If you're trying to find side A or angle A, you would use the first one, side B or angle B for the second one, side C or angle B for the side C or angle C for the third one. So let's just go ahead and use this to solve some triangles here. So first we're going to use law of cosines to find the side opposite of the given angle, and then use law of sines to find the angle opposite the shorter of the two sides. It will always be acute, and then find the third angle by subtracting from 180. There are also cases when you have three sides, you need to decide which angle you're going to find first, and we'll talk about that in the second example. So let's go ahead and draw a triangle here and label what we know. So here I have angle A is 60 degrees. We need to find angle B, angle C, and side A. Side B is 20, and side C is 30. Okay, so I'm going to start by finding the side across from the given angle. So I'm going to find A by using the formula A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of A. So when I plug that in, I have A squared equals 20 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 20 times 30 times cosine of 60 degrees. Nice thing is you can just type that right in your calculator exactly as you see it. Make sure it's in degree mode, not radians. And when you do that, you get A squared equals 700. If you take the square root of both sides, you find that A is about 26.5. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and find our angles that we're missing. So I'm going to start with angle B. So I'm going to do sine of B over side B equals sine of A, which is 60 degrees, over side A, 26.5. If I multiply by 20 on both sides, I can type that in my calculator to get sine of B equals 41 degrees when we round it, I believe. Yep, 41. Let me check. Oh, sine of B is not 41. Hang on. 20 times sine of 60 divided by 26.5. So sine of B is actually going to be 0.654. Then do inverse sine of that to get 41. So the actual angle is 41 degrees. Then to find the third angle, we are going to subtract 101 from 180, because this is 41 plus 60, which is 101. So we end up getting 79 for angle B. Okay, next one. If we have a side-side-side triangle, you're going to use law of cosines to find the angle opposite of the longest side first, and then use the law of sines to find either of the other two angles, and then find the third angle. So let's go ahead and look at that diagram. And start by drawing this out. And labeling your sides. So side A is 6, side B is 9, side C is 4. Okay, longest side is B, so we're going to find angle B here. And we're going to use the formula B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. And plug in what we know. So we have 9 squared equals 6 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 6 times 4 times cosine of B. Now, some books might show you to do this differently. I'm actually just going to plug my numbers in and simplify. Some show solve for cosine of B first. So I get 81. When I do 36 plus 24, I get 52. 2 times 6 times 4 is 48. And I'm going to subtract 52 from both sides first, and then divide by negative 48. So 81 minus 52 is 29. And then if I divide by negative 48, I get negative 29 over 48. And then I can do inverse cosine. So if I type inverse cosine of negative 29 over 48 in my calculator, I will get B. So inverse cosine of negative 29 over 48 is 127 when we round to the nearest degree. So angle B is 127. Okay, so sine of A over 6 equals sine of 127 over 9, multiply by 6 on both sides, and type that in your calculator to get sine of A equals 0.532, and then do inverse sine of both sides to get that A is 32 degrees. Add those two together to get 159 and subtract from 180 to get 21 degrees. Last one is an example. I'm going to go ahead and draw a triangle here and see if we can find one that works for what I want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a triangle. Let me rotate this if it'll let me. Okay, so I'm going to label this here. I'm going to say that this is my airport. And that first plane flies on a bearing northwest of 66 degrees. So this here is 66 degrees. Okay, so that's your first plane. Second plane is flying southwest at 26 degrees. If they're going for 2 hours, and the first plane is going 325 miles per hour times 2 hours, that means that's a total of 650 miles. The second plane is going 300 miles per hour for 2 hours, which means it has traveled 600 miles. We want to know how far apart is plane 1 from plane 2. I'm trying to find this. To find this angle here, this is a straight angle. So if I do 180 minus those two, so 180 minus 66 plus 26, which gives us 92, we get 88 degrees. Okay, so we're going to use law of cosines. We're going to find the distance, which is going to be 600 squared plus 650 squared minus 2 times 600 times 650 cosine of 88. Okay, type all of that in your calculator. You get a very large number, 755,278.393. Take the square root of both sides and round to the nearest mile. You get about 869 miles. Okay, and that is it for law of cosines. You do need to know law of sines. Remember, the only case where we really need to pay attention to is if you have a side-side angle situation where you have to check to see if you have a triangle that exists. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.